Organizing the syllabus, familiarity and need. Ordering of the syllabal components can be done in various ways. For example, they can be done on the principle of putting the simpler things first before the complex. Or it could be done in terms of grammatical items, with the simple grammatical items being put first and the more difficult ones later. It could be like starting with starter sentences, which are used for presentations or which are used for introductions, putting them first and then going on to more complex sentences, or through signposting in presentations. The syllabus can be managed by breaking down the mass of knowledge into manageable chunks. For this purpose, we need to have certain criteria. So we can break down this huge mass of linguistic information which we have according to the topic. So we can state the topic at first and then organize the syllabus according to that, or it could be according to a situation. So we can create a situation and then put the required linguistic items which we want to teach under it. Then it could be according to the skills and strategies which we want our learners to acquire. So if we look at the difficulty level of certain items, then we can organize the syllabus according to difficulty. And the simple principle is that we cover first the things which are simpler. So if it is a grammatical item, then we should start teaching the simple present tense before we go on to teach a more complex one like the conditional or the modal verbs. Similarly, tasks which are easier, for example, giving a small starter introduction to a presentation is better than giving a full-fledged presentation, or giving a presentation before going on to a negotiation, which would be more realistic. And then practice of all of these things before the student goes to the real task, so that the task is made more easy for him. Then the syllabus can be organized according to familiarity. So covering what is familiar to the students at first. So if we are allowing them to make a presentation, then the topic should be like talking about themselves, giving a presentation about their own job before expecting them to give a presentation on complex political or ethical issues. Also, the task should be familiar to them. So the same example that a presentation, if they are familiar with giving a presentation on themselves, then it would be easier for them to give a presentation on more difficult things. So the topics should also be familiar, talking about their likes and dislikes before going on to talk about other things. Then a syllabus can be organized according to the need of the learners. So the priority areas are taught first. This is especially true for courses which are longer than 3 months. So the receptionists, perhaps they would benefit if they are given a telephone training before they are given a training of report writing or giving a presentation. So the tasks also should be according to the need. So if there is a need that the student has to take an interview, then that should be like he gives an interview first and then takes other people's interview. Then this need could be according to the topic which is needed on the priority basis. So certain language items seem to hang together. Okay, so the syllabus can be organized according to that. For example, there are some specific grammatical items which seem to go with certain situations. For example, the conditional tense or the conditional structure seems to go well with negotiating. Similarly, certain linguistic items like giving presentations, they require the simple present tense and so on. So there is a need for variety and balance when organizing the syllabus. That should be kept in mind. Then the syllabus can be organized according to teaching blocks. Teaching blocks usually have the same aims and objectives, and they have the basic themes and standard formats. They allow for flexibility and change of pace for the teachers. So they are a good source of how the teaching elements are going to be organized. Then the syllabus can be organized according to units, and this is how it is usually done in the course books. All the different units, they have got logical or thematic coherence with each other, though it is not a must that one unit has to be completed before the next one is started, but there is a sort of a continuity in their use. Then, in contrast, modules are independent blocks, and they can be put together in various ways by the teachers according to the needs of their particular class. Many schools and institutions have ready-to-go modules of communication skills, which the teachers can select and use according to their need.